Good morning, everybody. We're so glad you are joining us here for Quality Sewing and Vacuum So Fun Live for November. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. I know I did, but you know what I'm really grateful for? I'm grateful for our new instructors, Sandie and Toni. Yay! So today is going to be our last So Fun Live for 2023. So we would love for you to come in for our holiday show at one of your local stores for December. So if you can't make it, we'd love for you to make it into the stores. We do have 10 stores, 30 live shows in person. There's food, there's fun, there's prizes. Who doesn't want a prize, right? And there's so much education and excitement about creating and show and tell too. That's really the camaraderie of it. So if you would like to come in to a live show, we would love to see you there. Just look us up, qualitysewing.com, and you can find the list of dates and times on there. Everything that the Sandie and Toni are going to be showing today is going to be 20% off until next Thursday, which is December 7th, I believe. So don't forget that those things are going to be 20% off, that the notions. I will be adding those on down in the comments section below. But those that are joining us today, please do leave a comment, say hello, let us know where you're chiming in from, because there are going to be 2 prizes on this live show too today. Sandie and Toni will be giving those out. And with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Sandie and Toni. Take it away, girls.
And Toni's going to be taking it away. I'm exiting stage right. Uh-oh.
I'm learning to clip a microphone on, you guys. Okay. First of all, what I would like to show you is the Quilts to Make in a Weekend book. It's an easy peasy. You can make it in a weekend. You may not be able to quilt it and bind it, but you will be able to do the tops in a weekend. It's that easy. There's 9 designs. When we first got the book, the first pattern I saw was the hens and chicks. I thought it was great. I wanted to make a chicken quilt, so I did. Come on over this way and I will show you my chicken quilt. And there's chicken wire on the back. And I even put a label. I know there's a lot of you out there that have probably not labeled hundreds of your quilts. We've started labeling ours, and this is out of the book I'm going to show you, colored in. Some of the fabric has come from Quality. I fussy cut the chickens and I quilted chickens on it. Another pattern out of the book is the Bellicante, which is right here. Lily, our counterpart in the north, made this one, and I think it looks like sherbet that you'd have in the summertime. It's just really yummy. One of them that is the most versatile is the Star. This is a table topper. It's a perfect size. A lot of people don't have humongous tables. They have smaller tables. This is perfect on it. And can you imagine this in red, white, and blue? Or how about Christmas colors? Red, green, gold, silver, and blue. Or how about a scrappy Halloween? Sandie did this one out of fat quarters that she'd gotten from Quality. So it's really a lovely, versatile pattern. Now, back over here, I want to show you one of the tools that I used when I made this. And this is the Magic Awl and Seam Ripper. This is my new best friend. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, that's nice, but I didn't know anyone who'd actually tried it or used it. Let me tell you, ladies, this thing is a cat's meow. This has a seam ripper. It has a very fine point. We all have seam rippers, or the real thick ones that you can't get in under a stitch. This thing is perfect for it. Are you going to show speed ripping?
If you want me to.
It also has the awl, which I use mostly. This awl is thinner. It's not a real heavy one. It's also more ergonomic because some of the awls you're hanging on to like this and it's hard to get them down and use. This is a pencil. I can maneuver it. It's a lot lighter. And when I'm stitching, we've all had our knuckles wrapped by the machines, getting too close and the thing comes down. This way, I can put a finger on each side of the foot. I can get this almost right in between the toes so that I can help guide fabric and hold it down. I'm not getting the flipped over dog ears that are inevitable when you're trying to stitch through. I can help hold them down to get them underneath the machine. I also don't like to sew over pins if I don't have to. With this, I can take the pins out, I can pin it down with my point, and I can help guide it through so that I'm not going over pins. This has taken the place of two tools that I normally keep by my sewing machine. And you'll see there's no pointy ends sticking out, so when it rolls off the machine, there's no pointy ends to go into a foot. So I love this. Next thing I would like to show you is the beaded charm pattern. This little pattern is absolutely great. It uses a charm pack, a 5-inch charm pack, and it only uses 17 pieces. Most charm packs come with 40 to 42 pieces, so you could make 2 table runners from it, or you could make an extra long table runner from it. A lot of times too, when you get a charm pack, there's usually a couple pieces that you may not be as crazy about. You've got plenty to choose from. This only uses 17 of them. Over here, I'm going to show you table runners I did. This is the Christmas table runner, and it's a charm pack from Quality, which I did sashiko stitching. Go sashiko, I love sashiko. This one, Halloween, it's a charm pack. It goes together very easy, very quickly. You do not have to use a charm pack. This is out of my stash. This is Batiks. You can do a two-tone and give a totally different look. This is the size of the table runner. So you can see it's a nice size. It will fit most tables. Lily got creative, and we're going to go over here. I'm going to show you what she did. She put them together, and she made a little wall hanging. Or it could be a baby quilt. It's just wonderful colors. Now, she probably used the whole charm pack because she kind of doubled it, but I thought it turned out really cute. I'm going to back here and I'm going to show you the pins. When I was making the table runners, this is my next second best friend. These are the magic pins, and you can see there's only one pin left in the box. The reason being, the rest are in my pin cushion at home. We all have the flower pins that we use when we try to quilt. They're long, they bend easy, they're pokey, they don't stay where they're supposed to be, and we've all stitched over the plastic part of the flower and had to pick the seam out to get it out. With this, it's a perfect size. You see it down here now with a flower pin. You're trying to pick it up. It's really hard to get it up off the floor. This is perfect. I have a little end right here on it. You can put a ruler on it and it doesn't wobble. It's not like a round pin where you can sometimes get distortion. It's a perfect size and it's stronger. So that when I go to pin, I'm going to come up here and show you on this. I don't know if you can see it quite well. When I put this in, I only have that much pin there. I don't have all the extra pin from the flowers. Also, too, a longer pin, you do not want to go in and out, in and out, in and out to tack something down, because every time you go in and out, you're causing fabric distortion. This just tacks it down so that I can stitch. I love these. I bought a second bunch of them, and I've even converted Sandie. She threw out all her flower pins. What I would like to show you right now is a 101 quilt label book. I mentioned before about how we don't always label our items, and we should. The nice thing about this book, there's parts cut out because we've been using it. It covers a variety of seasons. It's not just Christmas. It's not just Halloween-y. It's a wonderful book that has an awful lot of options. Now, when you use that and cut it out to transfer, you're probably going to get, well, first thing I'd like to mention is when you're using a transfer medium, they tell you, you press. Do not move the iron. If you move the iron, this is what you're going to get. Don't move the iron. So I made the second one, and this shows you I got 4 out of 1 of the patterns, and then it started losing its ability to trace. The longer you hold the iron down, the heavier your line will be. But don't throw that pattern away. This is the pattern from the book, and it's no longer transferring. But what you can do, notebook paper. Take notebook paper, put it down over your pattern, trace it with a pencil, and then you use the sulky transfer markers. Do not let kids get a hold of these, I'm warning you. But they are perfect for tracing around my pencil line that I have here on the notebook. And now I can use that pattern as many times as I want. All I have to do is trace it, or I've got it traced here, go back over it with the pen. Now I can continue to use any or all of the patterns that are in the book. And when you're tracing it, you don't have to trace the entire pattern. Trace out the part that you want, but it extends the life of these patterns. Also, these pens, what you can use them for, I like Maleficent. I think she's misunderstood. This is out of a coloring book. I traced it with a pencil. I went over it with these great pens, and now I can make as many as I want. I can color them in. I can heat set the colors, and I can make what I want. I can transfer pictures out of about any coloring book. How about you've got a grandkid? Here I did a Santa, and it's just traced with a pencil. Here I've got a monkey. Can you imagine that monkey transferred to some fabric? You heat set it, and then let your grandkid come and color it with the heat settable crayons or pencils. You can heat set it. Now you've got something special that your grandchild has made that you can put in a pillow. You can make a little purse out of it. There's any number of things you can do. You could even let them trace with a pencil and then go over it with one of these pens. And you've got it on the fabric. I do suggest that when you're using any kind of a transfer medium, you want to make sure that you're protecting your ironing board surface as well as your iron, because some mediums will soak through a little bit and you can end up with a pattern on your ironing board, or you can end up with a little residue on your iron that you don't know is there until you go to press, and then you've got marks. What you do is, I have a silicone pressing sheet, I have one of the big ones. I just put it down, I put my stuff on it, I flip it over. Now I can press, and if there's any residue, I just wipe it off. These also have a very fine tip. This is not like your Sharpie markers. I don't know if you can see how fine that tip is. So it does not leave a great big line. You can trace fine lines. So we just love this. Well, I am going to turn you back over to Sandie here and take all my little goodies with me.
Thank you. First thing I'm going to talk about is pom poms. We've all made them. We've worn them on our cheer uniforms. We've put them on hangers. We've put them, you can make pillows with pom poms. The pom pom maker comes in 4 sizes: extra large, large, medium, and small. After I made this one, I wanted it to look fuzzier like they do on the examples that they have on their pom pom maker. So I went to Dollar Tree, got a little cat pet brush, and you just brush it. And the wires kind of separate the yarn and make it all fluffy. So you have a nice fluffy pom pom. And I want to show you how easy they are to make. This is the pom pom maker. It doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed. You open up one side, wrap your yarn around, and you're wrapping, wrapping, wrapping till you get even with the white. Then you flip it closed. Then you flip it over and you open the other side and do the same thing, wrapping, 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 wrapping till it's about even. Flip it closed. Then you take your little scissors and you cut all the way around. Then you take another piece of yarn and tie it off. And then when you open it, out pops your pom pom. You will have to do just a little bit of trimming, but not a whole lot. And then if you fluff it up, you have, you know, really pretty pom poms. Lily, instead of using yarn, she used embroidery floss because she has a lot that she wants to get rid of. So she wrapped embroidery floss and some sparkle threads that I'm going to talk about later and made turkeys. You'll also see some pom-poms on some bags later that she made. Same thing, embroidery floss, sparkly threads, and they are really a denser pom-pom, but fun. Aren't those turkeys cute? I took a stabilizer roll that was empty from my machine embroidery. I put some pretty scrapbooking paper around it. I cut a balloon, the top off of it, and tied the knot. And then I put masking tape, or invisible tape around it, packaging tape. I made the littlest pom-pom. You tuck it in and shoot. Oh, that didn't go very far. My granddaughter had a blast with this over Thanksgiving. She was shooting my husband, she calls him Papa. Papa, I'm going to get you. Papa, I'm going to get you. And she was all over the house with it. We had one lady say, I'm making those for my cats. Her cats would just love to chase pom-poms around. Next, I'm going to talk about bags. I love bags. Vanna. Oh, Vanna. Tony's my Vanna today. We have the zipper pouch book that we brought in. This is such a fun book. It has 14 different pouches. It has zippers in the back so that you can get started right away. And as I flip through, she talks about the zippers. She talks about how to make bias, how to put your zipper in and fold the ends to get it in really neatly. She has all these great tips and tricks. So if you haven't made bags in a long time, or you're a new bag maker, this might be the book for you. We made all these bags and pouches that you see in this crate from this book, plus more because we duplicated some of them. A couple of the products we brought in that would be easier to make the bags was Wash Away Wonder Tape. I love this stuff. It is pressure sensitive, so if you put it against your zipper, you can press it down with your fingers, then peel the paper off, and take your piece of fabric and press it, and then go sew. You don't need pins, you don't need clips, you don't need anything special. If you're working with a much heavier zipper, you can press it and make it stay, and do the same thing. But wait till it's totally cooled if you press it. Don't ask me how I know. You get little bits and pieces of paper all over the place because it won't peel till it's cold. Peel the paper off, put your fabric, go sew, no pins, no fuss, no muss, nothing. We brought in these beautiful zippers. The navy with the antique gold, the white with the rose gold, isn't that pretty? Shiny. And this metallic zipper with metallic pulls. And then we brought in the zipper jig, which I put on a pedestal because, like, voila, this thing is perfect. You can use the number 3 zipper, which is a dressmaker zipper, or the number 5 zipper, which is the bigger bag making zipper. And it's so easy. You take the pull off, you put it where it's marked number 5. So it looks like a little house. The house is to the bottom. The openings are to the top. You take your zipper. You put the pretty away from you and the back side facing you. Put it at an angle. That is the trick. Put it at an angle. Push them both in simultaneously. And voila, there's your zipper. You can go and do your whole length of zipper tape that comes in the package, or you can just do one at a time as you cut them off. But it works so slick. And I don't want to see any comments about I can't do that, because the secret is putting it in at an angle. We had a lady yesterday with 2 broken wrists who came up and did it her first try. So I know y'all can do it. The other thing we brought in was fold over elastic. This is really wonderful stuff. It's a Buy Any product. It has a little fold right, or a little line right down the middle that you can fold. We love it for bag making because if you've quilted your bag and you don't want to put in another lining, you can cover all of your seams with it. It's better than bias tape because bias tape or bias binding will bunch up around the corners. This won't. You put it down and you just sew it around. You can stretch it a little bit around your corners. And it works really slick, and it's great for any bags. This is 3/4 of an inch wide. You can purchase 1/2 inch wide. It will not cover your seam allowances. Trust me on this. You can use your 1/2 inch for mesh, vinyl, things like that, but not bags. For bags, you want the wider fold over mesh. A couple of the bags I did quilting on. Here's straight line quilting. Here is crosshatching. And then Toni made one with diamond crosshatching. And I want to show you how to do that right over at the sewing machine. Okay. First of all, you take your fabric, and you have your fabric, your batting, and either another fabric or muslin on the back. You draw one line with your pencil. You put the 45-degree line of your ruler up here so that your ruler is here, and you draw your line, and you sew on that line. Next, you take this handy-dandy little gadget that comes with most sewing machines. It's called a guide bar. If your sewing machine doesn't come with it, I'm sure they can order one for you. There's a little hole in the back of the foot that you slide your guide bar in. There's a little screw to tighten it down. And you can decide, do I want my cross-hatching an inch apart, an inch and 2 inches, 3/4 of an inch? And that's how far you put your guide bar from your needle. So I'm going to make mine pretty small. It moves up and down, so you can move it up. Put your fabric under. That first line that you had sewn, you put the guide bar in. Put your presser foot down. Make sure your machine isn't going really fast. And sew. The guide bar will guide right along those stitches. Okay, I got a wrinkle in it. I don't normally do that. This is a different foot. But you can see I've started my cross hatching, and I'll do it all the way across both sides from that one line that I drew and stitched. Then you take your fabric and you put it the other way and draw a 45-degree line this way and do all your cross hatching along it that way, and you end up with those little boxes. If you want diamonds, you would take your 60-degree ruler and put it across the top. Draw your line. Follow the line with the guide bar all the way, both sides, and then move it the other direction. Mark your 60, do it again, and you'd end up with diamonds. Or can you think like a double needle? Wouldn't that be cool to have double needle sewing along each edge? Next, I'm going to show you the Russell pencil pouches. No, just these. Thanks, Vanna. This little pattern is very small. It would make a great Christmas gift. Tuck it in a card. Makes just all these wonderful pencil pouches. The pattern tells you to make them in vinyl or cork or craft tex. We use the same zippers that we brought in, and I forgot to mention you can put different colored pulls on your zippers. You could even do a black and white, each half of the zipper, as long as they were both number 5 zippers. Lily put a pom-pom. She put little holders and got her pom-pom on there. These will strap to a notebook with the elastic so that you always have your pencils with you. You could also strap it to the visor of your car with that elastic and have pens or pencils up there that you might need in the car. You could, Toni uses hers on her 3-ring binder. She has all of her embroidery designs in the 3-ring binder and all the flash drives inside of her little Russell pencil pouch. That way her flash drives and her pictures are all together in one. We also brought in a fun, if you're not into making labels like Toni did, sew your labels into your bags. It says, "This took forever, so you better love it." And it's these little labels from Katie Cupcake. They come 6 in a package. They are on a really nice satiny type ribbon. You could sign your name on the back and put it in your quilt. It's just a really fun little label for lots of things. I better put Lily's pins back. If you do make it a fabric one, you will have to cut and line it. Instead of 3 pattern pieces in this pattern, you would cut 6 pattern pieces so that you could put a lining in, and then just like you would a bag, put it on either side of your zipper and sew it, and you end up with one seam that shows. And I was going to fold over elastic on that seam. I had a piece in the bag, but in all our travels it got lost. But I will do that yet. My grandson wants me to make one so that he can put all his Matchbox cars in it. My granddaughter keeps all her hair bobs in them. There's just multi-uses, and the pattern tells you how to make them tall and skinny or short and chunky. Crochet hooks. Whatever you can think of, any craft you can think of, you probably could store stuff in these. Okay, next up on my agenda is the OESD Winter Sentiments card collection. You want to take these? Thank you. Thank you, Vanna. The card collection has 8 different designs in 2 sizes, and the designs are gorgeous. You have a New Year's design. Joy to the World. Happy Hanukkah. Peace. Happy Kwanzaa. Merry Christmas. Some beautiful trees and snowflakes. A snowman. and then joy to the world again. The original pattern tells you to take your card, cut it in half, and embroider on half of it, and then glue it to your finished, to a second card. And then I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to waste all my cards. So I embroidered it right to my card and lined it with a pretty fabric. Or you could put a picture there, or scrapbooking paper, or glue in a letter. Lily did all of hers on Crosshatching, which is a kind of cardboardy feeling fabric. It comes on a roll, comes in lots of different colors. After she embroidered it on the Crosshatching, she glued it to her cards. So all her cards were finished, and she got all 10 cards out of the pack. You get 10 cards in a pack, and she was able to use every one. Since I cut some of mine, I couldn't use every one, but that's okay. Toni put the same designs on towels, and she bought this toweling at Quality Sew and Back. Then she had the idea to make little pockets. She put the Happy Kwanzaa and the Happy Hanukkah on felt and made a little pocket and sewed a decorative machine stitch around to attach the back. It's a very cute idea. We also put them on some hanging towels I will show you later. But we brought in these beautiful threads. Look at these sparkly metallic threads by Wonderfill. They just glisten. And ladies, if you want these tubes, I'm here to tell you, next Thursday, they'll be gone. We got to pick the colors that went into these tubes. We have the Royal Collection and the Classic Collection. Aren't they beautiful? I did this with my sewing machine, and I've heard a lot of people say, oh dear, you know, I have so much problem with metallic threads. They break, they do this, they do that. I'm here to tell you, no, they don't. With a few simple tips, slow your machine down. If you're embroidering, slow it as it will go. Then we brought in these little Wonder Guards. It's a little, there are 10 in the package. They're like a little plastic. I can't find the end of it here. You know how embroidery thread, or how metallic threads pool the minute that you take them out of the plastic? This keeps them from pooling. It's just a little plastic, and it goes right around and it clings to itself. Put it on tight when you're storing your thread. Put it on loose when you want to use your thread to embroider. Feed it up through it. I usually on my sewing machine feed it through one of those heavy metal base with the hook. Feed it up through the hook and to my machine, and look, no knots, no twists, no snarls, nothing. On my embroidery machine, it has that T on the top, and I can put it up to the T and then down to the embroidery machine. You do want to slow your embroidery machine all the way down, and you want to put in a larger needle, like a top stitching needle or a 14 size needle, something that will have the larger scarf on the back so it doesn't shred your thread. Okay, I think the last thing I need to talk about, oh, the towels. We also embroidered on all these towels. Can you see them here? The towel kit comes with batting and the toweling, and it's this really pretty Dunwoven toweling. It tells you to either use a wide rickrack or make a band, and Toni will show you later how easy it is to make a band on a towel. To finish your towel off, all the directions are in here. You can either make a buttonhole to hook your buttons, or you could glue your button on and put Velcro behind it. Lily used some cute Kimberbell towels and cut them in half and made a couple towels. The kit comes, as I said, with one, you can make one towel. But we all know you want to make more than one towel. I want to make more than one towel. So what I did was I took a piece of freezer paper, your kitchen freezer paper that has the shiny side and the paper side, and with a warm iron, not super hot, I pressed it to the back of my fabric. Then your fabrics are right sides together. And then you take that piece of batting that's marked. And the directions will tell you to sew around your batting on that marked line. Well, that also sews your freezer paper for you. Once your freezer paper is sewn, you can peel it off and put it on cardboard or template plastic or something so that you have your template. You can just trace on your batting and trace and make more and more and more and more. And these make great gifts. Everybody loves a new fresh kitchen towel. Or you can hang it in the bathroom and put it on the towel bar so the kids aren't always throwing the towel on the floor. The last thing I have to show you is Sip and Snip. It's this wonderful container and garbage bag. It clips to your sewing table. So you would clip it and have your drink right beside you. It has an opening here for the handle of your coffee mug. And then the garbage bag, I love by my embroidery machine because it's ripstop nylon and your embroidery thread will not stick to it. So you can easily clean it out. Has little pockets in the front for those little tweezers and things that we tend to lose. And it just works really handy. But if drinking next to your machine isn't your thing, there's lots of other uses for this. We had a gentleman tell us his wife wasn't getting it. It was going out in his workroom. He wanted it at his workbench. He was going to have his coffee and his Cheetos. My granddaughter always wants it on the table to put a cup in, put water in the cup, and she does her paint by number and paint on water, and she has all her paper towels and stuff in here. My daughter thinks it would make the most excellent dorm accessory. Put your hair dryer in here, your brushes, your hair care products, and everything in here, and clip it to that little bathroom shelf that you get in when you're in college in dorms. It's no bigger than, 4 by 12, so you'd have extra space. One other thing that we thought of was your glue gun. You know how many times when you're gluing with a glue gun and you burn yourself? Or you have that little tiny iron and you burn yourself? If you put a little custard cup or something in the bottom, your glue gun could fit in there. Your hot iron, that little mini iron, you could set in there and it wouldn't fall all over the place. And I just think it's a great product. Really fun. Toni's going to come back and she's going to talk to you about the shirt that she is wearing. It's a gorgeous shirt.
Vanna is back again. Ladies, I'd like to show you the London shirt pattern. This picture does not do it justice. It's a wonderful pattern. There are only 4 pattern pieces, front, back, sleeves, and collar with optional interfacing. And this is the London shirt. I love this. It is comfortable, 3/4. I can wear it as a blouse. I can wear it as a jacket. Interfacing is optional. It's only in the collar that I put a little bit of lightweight fusible, and that's because rayon is going to slip, but you don't have to. Lily did hers, and she used a border print. She likes a very stiff collar because she likes to wear it up, so she put a heavy facing in on it, and she put the border around on her sleeves, as well as covered her own buttons. We all know how hard it is to find good buttons nowadays. A lot of the stores, they're no longer carrying them. This is an option. I like this shirt well enough, I made 3 of them total, and I wear them all the time. They're comfortable. The plackets, there are no interfacing in these plackets. It's a fold over, press, and stitch. Straightforward. It's more of a beginner pattern, or if you haven't been making clothes for a while, you want to get back into it, this is an excellent pattern to start with because it's well written, straightforward, easy construction. Some things that I used that helped when I was doing this pattern, and I'm going to come over here and show you the hot hammer, which I use for a lot of things. This is the hot hammer They come in different sizes and shapes. This is a long one, which I really like and what I use the most of. You know, when you're trying to pin a hemline or trying to get anything to come up, you put it, you pull it up, you measure, you pin, you measure, you pin, you measure, you pin. And then when you're trying to press it, you're trying to take the pins out so you don't go over them, because your iron's going to leave an indent. And look where your fingers are. My husband swears he's going to get me Kevlar gloves. And I keep aloe gel up by my ironing board. Well, I'm not as worried about it now because of this little puppy. It has straight lines and crosshatch, but you're not having to try to line up on the crosshatch. And all you do is lay it down, no pins, and I just pull it up to the line that I want, like a 1/2 inch, and I can put my iron here and I can start pressing, and I can be that far away from my iron and not be getting burnt. It's wonderful. And for bag making, I took one and I cut it 1.5 inches in like a 2-inch sections, and I use this when I'm doing the straps for bags. This is also perfect on the towel if you're trying to fold over and press to put on the decorative part. It's a great tool. The other thing that I like, and please don't cringe, this is the French ruler. This is not just for garment alteration. When I first got this ruler, and I like it because it's a medium. It's not too long, it's not too short, it's like Goldilocks, just right. When I first got it, the first thing I did is I put some tape across, and I use that to make scallops on a quilt. Now, if you want to use it for garments, you don't have to think about it. It tells you right here, there's pictures right on where you would place it. It also tells you, here it says hip curve 1 through 17. So it tells me that I would use this part of the ruler if I'm trying to do a curve. This curve is also great in bag making because instead of doing a straight side, I can put it down and I can get a nice curve on a bag. It also tells you that if you're doing armholes, it's 13 through 26. So this is the part that you would use if you were doing armholes. And those of you who watch Saturday morning sewing shows, you know that Peggy Sagers, who does the Fit to Stitch, does a lot of heavy alterations. She uses these and shows you. Angela Wolf, who does the master classes, does alterations. She shows you how to use it. And hers, I think, are a little easier to do because she doesn't do major alterations. She shows you how to do easy kind of beginner alterations. But they use this French curve ruler. This ruler also has a 16-inch ruler on it. How cool is that? If I want to measure, and there's markings on it, I can put it down, I can measure, I can mark. I could also rotary cut, no speed rotary cutting, because this is a little thinner. It's not like the Omni Grids and some of the regular rulers that are out there. But you can use it to be able to trim off small pieces. It's a general all-around ruler, and this has replaced several rulers that I had by my machine because I can get what I want from one ruler. So think about it, ladies, it's a great ruler.
I'm just going to butt in because I'm a butt-in-ski. We had ladies at numerous live presentations that we went to that Toni had a couple extra shirts and she told them to come up and try them on. And you would be amazed. We had short women, we had tall women, we had skinny women. Every single one of them. This shirt looked amazing on them. You would just be so surprised if you were able to try this on. It's a great pattern.
It is. I don't think I showed you the hemlines for it to not lop you off. Another thing about this shirt, it covers, and it's got an open area with an uneven hem so that it doesn't lop me off and make me look short. We want to look thinner and taller, and this hemline will do it. I forgot to tell you about that, and that's an important part. So we want to look thinner, younger, right.
Okay, I think we are about done for today. Did we cover everything?
I think we did, unless there's any questions. And our boss here has some giveaways.
I walked right in front of the camera.
You know what? I didn't put names on there.
Yeah, I see you didn't put names
Put
on
names
here.
on it. Anybody out there want us to put their name on it?
We have a great book, Quilting Through the Year, with designs for every month of the year. And we have a piece pattern from Patrick Lose. And Andrea's drawing names, and we will let you know in a minute. We want to say, if your name is drawn and you hear us say your name, please comment that we know you're there. Then you will want to email Andrea at andrea.qualitysewing.com. And the winners are, drum roll, dun, 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 dun. First, the book. Vicki W., you are the proud owner of this book. Congratulations, yay! Please comment and then email Andrea at andrea.qualitysewing.com. Andrea@qualitysewing.com, and let her know where to mail it. If you're local, tell her which store to send it to. If you're over in New York, you have to give her your address. Okay? Our next winner for the pattern is Robin Davies. Robin, make a comment. Let us know you're there. Then go and email Andrea at qualitysewing.com. Tell her if you're local that you can pick up the pattern at a certain store, or if you want it mailed to you. If you're in freezing Minnesota or New York or somewhere, give her your address. She'll send it right out to you. And don't forget, all the products that we showed you, you can get through Thursday. Those beautiful threads will be gone. Gone, gone, gone.
And thank you for spending your morning with us.
Yes.
We have had a ball.
We have.
And we love So Fun. We've
do.
met so many lovely women. Come to the Christmas parties that they're having in December. All the stores are having Christmas parties. And then come see us at the So Fun presentations that start up again in January.
Yep.
It's a wonderful way to connect with people. And what's better than getting 20% off anything you buy, other than machines? Fabric, needles, scissors. Joining So Fun pays for itself just in what you would save for that year. So come on, see us. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.